Howdy gamers! Another Bounty Hunter is about to kick off for our weekly schedule here. I guess we got pretty much business as usual today. Got a couple of new players, we got old regulars, we got matches of all skill levels on the showcase once again tonight. Yeah. You already know if you've been watching this for a while. I'm your usual host for the evening, QK, talking you through the action tonight in our first to 7 show matches. We're playing Guilty Gear Strive, as per tradition, but hold out for potentially some Avatar FT7s in the near future as well, though, when the devs of that game manage to put on spectating features in that game. Is another endeavor that I'm pretty interested in, but we're focusing on Guilty Gear today. Let's take a quick look at our card for the evening before we get things started here. So, we are not gonna have Yappie versus Butty third week in a row. Actually breaking up these two for now. Got interesting matches such as Butty and RageWolf there at the end of the event. Our newcomers of the evening, I think KomiYouko, Spellrunner, as well as Humble Zoner and Slav9 joining the fray tonight. And yeah, PRIDUZ also finally joining the roster as an actual sign-up instead of being the sort of eternal MVP showing up to fill up player slots on a short notice when somebody has to cancel. So that's going to be exciting. We are going to start the evening with a decently high-level match. We're doing Marius Emilia versus Flakdo Jan for the first slot. And I think, yeah, we are about on schedule to start soon, so let me do a couple of the magic tricks before we start. Get ready, get our bodies ready for 6 action-packed matches. It's usually gonna be around 3-ish hours of non-stop Guilty Gear action. Decently tough commentator's block to cover. Sometimes kinda tough. This requires quite a bit of endurance to go through all of these alone. But I think we're well equipped to get through this marathon this evening as well. So Milia versus Jam for the first matchup of the evening. Two characters who definitely love to mix the opponent up. They do it from slightly different positions. Milia, of course, wants to knock you down, run your set it and forget it kind of mix up. Not really set it and forget in this game, but that classic anime fighting game Vortex kind of gameplay as soon as you manage to find a hit. Very Guilty Gear style. I think Guilty Gear was one of those, or has been one of those fighting games for the most time known for that. Who gets the first hit in is in such a strong position to win for the rest of the round. But yeah, that's Milia. Jam in this game, very potent opportunities to mix you up from pressure. You get close enough, you get into such a, for example, close slash, you can convert to these really tough to see kind of mix-ups. You have a little bit more room to wiggle and to play and to RPS compared to, say, Milia. But if you're sitting still, Jam can run extremely sort of hard to distinguish, or almost even impossible to distinguish kind of options. She has, in addition to just performing her special moves that can be mix-ups on their own, you could get the mix-ups from command hops, you could, there's a lot of different variations of what could happen based on, like, especially if you try to follow your eyes, what's happening on the screen. It's really tricky against Jam. Not to mention, Rutsui in itself is kind of like an airborne low, if you think about it. like a dive kick kind of move that grounds Jam extremely fast and puts her into a position where she goes for a low immediately. But the jig is on, and Flakdo has already been able to charge a couple of stocks here. We managed to go back to neutral and find those hits, especially the red card there, Ryutsui. Very common card. It's the aerial low special move. Extremely potent for combos, as well as pressure. Plus on block, utilizing the charged Ryujin. Not quite close enough to break the wall, but if you're kind of like past mid-screen, that Ryujin supercharged card is gonna break the wall immediately. Which of course, if you've been playing, ooh, misses the puffball there. If you've been playing Guilty Gear, you might know how strong breaking the wall is in this game. Extra damage as well as extra resource recovery. Chasing but missing the throw here, and now opportunity for Mary to start the vortex, and we're starting it with a familiar option here. Mary's signature move into empty, fully charged 5D to cast out, and that 5D does so much damage in this version of Guilty Gear compared to the old ones. Nice, gets the gold burst there. And now that should guarantee Mary an opportunity to run even more pressure, despite if this sequence is blocked, if it hits. Ooh, but however, waking up with the BRC, was probably thinking about YRC, but will happily take the slowdown on the opponent. However, Mary does not give away the position, chases the target down. Secures a potential position to fight for this first game here. Gold burst here now from Flakdo's position. Both these characters extremely strong in the air in their own right. Mobility, raw movement capability goes definitely in favor of Milia, having those double air dashes as well as a special move that can still yet further relocate you in the what is called the Capel. But Jam is very mobile, as well as has like some really nasty buttons that can hit you from all sorts of angles really fast. Ooh, the jump D actually calls out Ryutsui there, and it will still convert. Can't get a full sequence here, and Flakdo calls out the loose mix-up opportunity. Oh, and finds the air throw for the finishing touch here. Really good on Flakdo, able to recognize that the setup was not quite as tight as Milia would usually like to run. So unless you can get like a super hard or like a combo ender that secures a lot of plus frames for you, such as like a 2D, or I forget what the some of the other options for Milia are. But if you can't get the heavy disc setup comfortably, you're much more interactable in those wake-up situations for the opponent. Not to say they are not dangerous situations, of course, but generally positions where you're not forced to just block it and hold it. You do have options to choose from. Alright, tackles out of the active range using Capel. Disengaging. Ooh, good angle to punish the neutral S-disc, which has been empowered in some of the newer patches. The S-disc, pretty decent on poke nowadays. However, it kind of hopes that your opponent is in front of you, not in the air, where you're sort of extremely vulnerable to jump-ins during the startup or active frames of the disc. Right, I guess actually the startup of the disc. With the throw, and now how we're mixing up. We're taking the Ryutsui card, of course. Going air to air, grounding Mary. And unleashing the special move here. Nice, the double jump gets out of the corner. Milia's really good at escaping the corner if you can get like a couple of jumps out of there and can create a high position that it's very hard to chase for the opponent. Gold burst. Is successful to defuse the corner situation, and not only that, able to build almost 50 tension on top of that. Mary, a couple more hits and we should be there. Having the 50 meter threshold so important in Guilty Gear Strive. You know what else is important? Having all of your stocks ready to go. Goes in for the special move that we were talking about, the airborne low. Catches Mary initially. Still has the other two special moves ready to go as well. Good go for that cross-up. Was that even a cross-up? I'm not sure. I think it was. Flakdo ended up on the right side there. But this is kind of what Jam is all about. the difficult to read situation. Is it front? Is it back? Is it high? Is it low? It's super hard to see. You can kind of react to her going airborne, but you can't exactly tell what is coming after that. That's the sort of Joker card of this character. Ooh. And again, it's really hard to say, like, if she's even in like a high airborne position as Flakdo was there, you could come down with an axe kick with the Gekirin, or you could just come down with the Ryutsu that grounds you extremely fast. The timing is also so modifiable on this character. Starting the round again with the axe kick. It's for another one. Mary escapes. Ooh, but the buff ball is so large. Luckily, it's not plus frames on block in this game, but you know what else is plus frames? This empowered Ryutsu finding a hit afterwards. Such a nice tool. You can use it to engage, and if you can't find the hit, well, you're basically unfuckwithable from the situation afterwards, unless if your opponent has like a DP. But Flakdo, 3 quick ones. This is kind of the pace that Flakdo has been known to set right from the get-go, as well as, this character, Jam, has always been like this. Extremely explosive, and Jam players love to bring the heat to you right from the get-go, not giving you any chance to breathe. She's a character that can move around the screen so fast, and look at that, moving into right exact position where you need to be to land the air throw. Nice jump slash there from Mary. Finds a hit. Not quite able to set up the disc here though. And again, Flakdo calling out those Oki situations that are not as tight as this heavy disc could be. But we can set it up here again. And Deflect Shield is one of those few options that you can actually use to try to nullify the mix-ups from Milia. As well as, I guess, your, full burst option if you want to try to go for it. Oh, but the double jump, able to get out of there from the air throw active distance, which is, I guess, the primary threat in those situations where you slow down the opponent's ascent into the skies. 5k pressure, just like Chip Zaneth, this character can chain 5ks into itself, making it a very potent pressure tool for stagger pressure and stuff like that. Re-engaging here from the sky as this RC catches the opponent, and now it's party time. Setting up those heavy discs, and if you keep your combo relatively short, you can flow from one heavy disc situation into another. But you usually gotta make some sort of a choice if you wanna fully cash out or if you wanna set up the shop. Now, another heavy disc mix-up, turbo fall. Flakdo is blocking, but the last low sequence there finds its mark and puts Mary on the board as well.
Duel 1.
It's okay, we're just getting started here. Starting with Ryutsu this time. The round start option for Flakdo so far has been the axe kick, which usually reads as an overhead option. Checking them, straight into Ryutsu, plus frames, get hit, and Mary ready to, ooh, but sending the Dragon God across the screen, across time and space from era bygone. Still, that full screen, just send it kind of tool to rule over the neutral. Ooh, nice angle there once again. Finding a hit against the Esk disc. Flakdo misses with the axe kick. A nice whiff punish opportunity for Mary. Can we still have the disc? Not quite, but still a sticky situation. Again, the air throw from Flakdo. So ready with those. Trying to go for the air throw again. Not this time. Turbo fall into Capel. Buying more real estate, putting yourself in a better position, but eventually Flakdo finds the target, unleashes the Gekirin, and it lands. And tough news for Milia. When stuff lands, almost no matter what it is, it tends to hurt quite a bit. Finding a hit themselves that hurts here as well. The jump heavy air-to-air counter hit that Mary was able to convert into quite a bit of punishment. Alright, we got the throw, we got resources, Ryutsu ready to go. Oh, the Ryutsu card actually got absorbed there because Flakdo went for it. But it got nullified by the YRC. That's actually pretty valuable use of YRC, I want to say. Of course, you do have an option to not go for the card special move. You could like kind of bluff with it and then use a different one, especially kind of like 50-50, little like pseudo 50-50 you can do between Ryutsui and Gekirin. Walks the burst. That's what I was talking about earlier. The full burst might not, like, even though it is an RPS option that you can represent in those heavy disc scenarios, it is definitely not get out of jail card for free. For all of those situations are safe jumps after all. Oh, great mash there. The 2P. Are we lagging here? Are we good? Is it me? Is it the players? Is it the servers? Nobody knows, but we are playing on here. Relatively high life here on a round that is gonna matter quite a bit here for the rest of the set. Gold burst once again, good timing on that. The recent patches have made the gold burst a little easier to land. No longer the like the super high level time. I think it was like a couple of frames of timing that you had to unleash it previously, but now it's a little more lax. It's kind of cool. Flakdo still with the Ryutsui card here, finds the air-to-air, that's gonna go into wall break if you desire, but you could also drop the target here. The air throw have been serving Flakdo so well. Through the glass, the positive bonus comes online. Mary would love themselves some 50 meter, and they do get it! Not quite the kill, but finds the low here on the landing frames. Yeah, connecting the air-to-air there, forcing Flakdo basically in a situation where you can't really escape. You get put into forced landing recovery in Guilty Gear Strive. So has to respect what is coming from Mary. Mary able to wrap it up. Engine slowly revving up. Vroom. Flakdo starting strong, but now Mary slowly warming up, finding the 6P as well. Nice nifty conversion into S-Disc, into some more. Flakdo, very high on resources, and even though Jam doesn't necessarily have a true reversal out of the opponent's pressure, other than the reversal super, it is quite a good... Ooh, running an F-Shiki here, I think that looked like. The Mary blocking it successfully, or just, you know, standing up, holding up back on the... I guess F-Shiki by definition is usually a tight, a gapless block string, so if you're kind of holding up back, you would protect yourself against it. Small hit here, but again, Flakdo is vigilant, throwing out of those jump heavy resets. No mercy, not letting Milia run those shenanigans. Very, very important tool in this matchup for those like jump heavies. Jump heavies can, both on hit or on block, lead to some tricky to deal stuff if you're not ready to match, you know, her jump height. Air throw again, missing it, and Mary setting up the heavy disc. Oh, here we go! Ow! Not quite gonna be the kill and building the full burst for Flakdo, but he's gonna go for it despite being up on rounds, so this is a strategical decision. YRC into... That's a very interesting YRC when you are actually airborne, but a very mobile air character like Emilia can probably make good use of it. I'm not actually sure what the situation is like fully on paper, but... For one more hit, good 6P, should be a kill, right? Dragon kick, loaded, had the 50 meter as well in case it doesn't kill. Flakdo.
Duel 1.
Throwing some more coal in the chamber here. Perhaps looking to restart the engine. Stagger 5k, ending it in S-Disc safely. Double jump. Making Flakdo's air throw miss this time. And mixes it with the left-right. Are we gonna get the kill, the wall break? Yes, indeed. So the resource situation is gonna look good here in the near future. Misses the air throw again. But as we've kind of covered recently on Bounty Hunters when we've had these Milia games, it's kind of not optional. The air throw is not optional air throw option. You kind of like anti-air option. You kind of have to have that in your kit. Otherwise, your your anti-air angles are gonna be so predictable and so easy to deal for Amelia. Like Capel will just outplay you left and right, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all through the week. You absolutely have to have that air throw available. Just reach for it again. But of course, it's not like Milia side can't adjust to it as well. It's the beautiful thing, but we finally find it into a good position as well. Mary, with the resources that we have available, negating the mix-ups as much as possible. These Pixie characters don't want to be on defensive as much as possible, fighting the air throw again. I love that, not letting Mary get away with murder and not letting them get away from the corner either. Comes down with a jump heavy. Ooh, goes for the S-disc instead, offsetting the Oki. Hope we're good here. He's engaging, and then YRC, and plus enough to catch the backdash there. Mary utilizing the frame advantage perfectly.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
God, is it hot in here, or is it just turning up? I'm gonna lose my shirt here. Right at the start of Bounty Hunters. Okay. So Gold Burst has been acquired for Mary again. However, Flakdo explodes with the use the meter that the Gold Burst was able to build, granting Mary ability to YRC out of there. Really, really important that you don't have to be guessing, because when you guess wrong on these Pixie characters, it's often lights out immediately. Alright, we're converting. Can go into corner. That's a decently high damage combo as well. And the heavy disc snacks the corner. Oh, and snacks it back. Goes for able to land a parry, but parry going the follow-up going into the wrong direction. And again, you're guessing for your life this time. Front and low. Looking for one more potentially. Or never mind, this could be a kill. Checking for burst. Oh, Flakdo kind of smart here, understanding that the combo was so prorated, and the double jump to chase Mary. It's not over yet. Able to jump out of pressure, and you bet your ass that when Milia jumps out, there's pain. There's pain incoming, and difficult scenarios to block. Flakdo unfortunately committed really hard onto the grounded sequence as well, and was not in a position to anti-air there. And now again, some of the more harder hitting combos from Milia. Okay, cashing out. Almost lost. Ooh, that was not a meaty disc. That's a very important distinction between the heavy discs, when it's meaty and when it's not. If it's meaty, you just gotta hold it. If it's not, well then you have some RPS options. It's Mary this time finding the air throw. Fakes the corner still here. I'm not sure which way you had to block afterwards. 6P rings true. Brings it to the corner. The dragon kick is not empowered, so not gonna break the wall immediately, but we'll have this normal wall break afterwards. The double jump this time doesn't go for the air throw, but instead chases with those strong jam air buttons and lands it to Ryutsui. Old classic, old reliable. It's so fast. Technically, like the hurtbox and hitbox ratio is nothing to write home about, I think, but it's just simply boasting with a like an absolutely cracked amount of startup, which is not much. One of the reasons why it's so hard to deal with. Puffball, good hit, counter hit to the corner, and now containing Mary in the danger zone. 5K, tap, not close enough to convert. Oh, and the delay is perfect. That should be super. Guaranteed wall break, and this should not be survivable for Milia. Bunny, tornado, break it, slam it. Flakdo looking to keep the 2-game buffer that they've been holding for the most of this set. Definitely not end of the tail here for Mary yet, but we do have to work out a little here. We have to go to work and grind this out in order to secure back an even footing. Let's see how we approach that. Who goes under the 6P? Yeah, the Bakshu, the command dash for Jam has always been very low profile. So if you want to call it out, you would have to go for buttons like 2K, 2S, potentially 2D. depending on what button your character loves to use. Escapes the 6B with a capo. Ooh, here we go. Misses the combination. Mary staying very mobile, but take this, the puffball. I'm like, frick, it's so hard to find the Milia. So I'm just gonna send a huge ass hitbox, which is in this case the puffball. Misses barely. It could, theoretically, I guess it could be whiff punishable for these super fast characters. I'm not actually sure, but it does require quite a bit of precision. The very like worst case, you can actually like at least make Jam block afterwards, even if you don't get a true punish. Another good air throw around them, and then break the wall. Flakdo in a really nice position up around here. 5-3. Tries to go for maybe a gold burst, but getting the blue variant this time around. It's okay. We're still in an excellent place. RC converts and brings himself to 6 points. Now this is tough. Mary needs to pull out 4 straight wins here against a character such as Jam. Very tough job. Like characters like Jam or Slayer, these kind of characters who can send, like, can force you to RPS from really far away, and in many different situations are really tough to like win against consistently. Due to also converting into huge, massive combos, it's very easy to like just, you know, guess wrong once, guess wrong twice, and that could almost be a game in itself. Ooh, able to land a small hit there, but no conversion. The Capel, producing those anti-air roses, which you usually have to, ooh, guesses it right this time, and almost even better. Like, I think missed the combo there initially, the punish combo, but lucky for Flakdo, Mary ended up spending the deflect shield there, which now burst resource that ain't gonna be available on this potential last round of the set. Set point for Flakdo. Can Mary persevere? All charges or stocks recharge. That's plus on block and Ryujin straight out of there. Out of this set. The most explosive state that you could ever find yourself in. Flakdo recharges everything and just sends it. That's such a tough position to be in, regardless of like what you have available and what you choose to defend with. The carded Ryutsui is a safe jump. You can't DP that. You can't winger that. Winger is not fast enough. In fact, nothing in this game is fast enough to counter it. And then you just have to deal with the plus, how much is it on block? +3, +4, even more? I can't even remember. Oh boy, that character is scary. But good on Mary fighting back as much as possible here against all odds and against the explosive nature of Jam. Following it up is gonna be another decently high level match here. Yappie and PRIDUZ, the 2 Polish warriors here, engaging for the first time on Bounty Hunters. Yeah, we've had a really heavy Polish representation as of recent, when, you know, Yappie, PRIDUZ, Butty, and the rest of them showing up en masse and very consistently week after week. Very interesting characters this bunch of Polish players bring to the table as well. So it's been a huge pleasure casting their matches. Now, like I said earlier, PRIDUZ, I'm not actually sure which one it is. PRIDUZ is going into this match as an original sign-up of Bounty Hunters for the first time in a long while. PRIDUZ has been like showing up to replace players who had to give up their position on a short notice for many times in a row. But now this matchup should be pretty comfy, I would say, for Testament, especially with all of the ABBA nerfs. You can really command, you can like have a very commanding sort of presence at neutral, especially now that ABBA kind of has to like work really hard to get into a relevant jealous amount from the get-go. So nowadays, ABBA starts with 25 jealousy instead of the half gauge, which is quite relevant if you kind of think about how this character loves to recycle her resources. Having to actually find at least one successful combo or interaction before you can get to the like the 50% jelly that you previously started out with, it means that you have to work like extra hard, and you probably can't justify just, you know, activating Jealous Rage immediately. But activated we have. Is that gonna be a safe jump? Not quite. So Calamity 1 getting Yappie out of there, goes for a 5D. I wonder if that was charged or what happened there. Throw from PRIDUZ. Keeper of the Key, that's gonna trade, but favorably for who? I think Yappie. Yeah, Yappie was so high up on life there. Would have been an okay trade, I want to say, if both players had the health. But yeah, I think that was a charged one as well, because usually like when you're gatling into a 5D, it shouldn't be, I think, throwable for like most standard characters. I want to say. Now changing some parameters, hopping in, hopping out, hopping in. Yappie from a 1-0 position. Starting with a 2S, which of course you could choose to try to send it and just use the hop kick, go over it. A couple of S-Grave Reapers. This is one of my favorite buttons from Testament. I think that like the tragic thing is that like, I want to say S-Grave Reaper is actually one of the better moves that Testament has in their kit, but you can't really like, you have to do things other than the S-Reaper as well, especially since like some of your best rewards are tied to your curse state. So you do have to throw other fireballs occasionally as well. Can't just rely on the good old S-Reaper. Ooh, nice parry there. So we were talking about the need to interact with the opponent to build the jelly. This is one way that you can definitely do it. And now activation with 75 jelly from full screen. Much better proposition than just activating with a 25, which is technically like around 2.5 seconds. You would much rather start the fun with around 7.5 seconds instead. Tries to go under, the command dash does not drag the key far enough, unfortunately, and now cashing through the wall. PRIDUZ in a position where you don't have the required threshold yet. Can't get a key grab here. Very decent hit. Now 5 seconds of absolute Terminator time. Block on the overhead. Wow, Yappie's defense off of the last hit is gonna force the pop, and I think that was still minus. There is this option where you, like if you're about to pop, you're about to go bust, you can try to land a high attack level move and then RC into, or FRC into sort of like into immediate animation into the pop, but not working out for PRIDUZ this time around. And taps a 5D, very hard to react. 20 frame overhead, guarantees Yappie. Another one here. But just you wait, just you wait. When we get enough jelly and when we get in, that is when I'm gonna show you, since every other player ever. Oh, just you wait when I get enough resources and I get my ball rolling. In those kind of positions, she is still like one of the nastiest characters in the game, one of the most dangerous characters, one of the most I guess unfair characters as well, but technically it's fair because it's not time gated and it's, you know, there's a lot of counterplay. There's a lot of RPS choices leading into that, the unfair kind of gameplay that you can represent at the end of the round, or like when after you get a little bit of resources. She's still pretty good at cycling those resources though, so if you have tension and if you have a high amount of jelly, then Abba is absolutely, like, really scary to deal with. An absolute menace, if you will. Get it? Because one of her special moves is called something something menace. Really funny kid. Really funny. Okay, finding the curse here. It's been really difficult, understandably, playing the matchup as it's supposed to be played. Takes that burst as well. That was kind of like one of the last opportunities for PRIDUZ to represent the burst anymore before its curtains closed. Guaranteeing Yappie a third game in a row. It is tough. This is exactly the kind of stuff that Testament was made for. Every zoner's wet dream. At least at the start of the round, I want to say. It's kind of like a reverse Nagoriyuki in a way. Because Nagoriyuki, one of those characters that can actually just like bum rush you really fast, but he has that capability at the start of the round, whereas Abba gains that ability at a later date, if you will. 6p here, triggering the curse for a little bit of extra damage. And once again, has not been able to make progress on the jelly front, unfortunately. I say that and finds a 2K2D. Big 8 seconds available. Nice shimmy there. Actually takes a stutter step backwards and waits for it. Good tech from Yappie this time around. Defense. Oh, the Calamity one comes in clutch again. Able to find a gap in that pressure. But it's not simply the reversal super that Yappie was representing here. The defensive sturdiness against basically the whole 7 seconds of the pressure that PRIDUZ was representing there. Very, very impressive. These technically unreactable high-lows that you have to kind of deal with once Jealous Rage Abba gets in on you. Speaking of the Jealous Rage, goes for the throw, but a little bit too far. Maybe the sort of anxiety, the frustration of just not having the right resources. Oh, here we go. Converting the 50 tension though into this FRC overhead, activates, and then busts. Here comes the hippos, blocking the low, blocking the high as well. Ooh, the command dash gets you in position, but not in a place to press a button, or maybe it not have the guts to press the button. I'm not familiar exactly with Abba's frame data on the key drag there. Are you actually plus if you go under the crow? But it is like a very universal RPS that you can present against Testament when you block the S Reaper and then the crow comes at your way. If you have anything that kind of keeps you low profile, you can try to slide under and try to poke Testament. Speaking of poking, finds a 5 heavy, nullifies the curse, uses the burst in a very aggressive manner. I think I would use it as well, kind of like this, because like a lot of the times the burst just does not get you good value. If you can burst your opponent in the corner when they can land a hit on you, that's probably the best that you can get for your full burst meter. Keeper of the key, can't do anything but hold it here. When you are in the mode, it's basically unfuckwithable, as they say in the industry. Gonna pop here, but we have a lot of plus frames. Going in with the jump, defines the counter hit, glow slash. Here we go, baby. Well, not breaking just yet. Grounding Yappie, here comes the burst. I love this, kind of forcing PRIDUZ in a position where you can force them to block the full screen projectile and then force into a bust state. And now I think this should be a checkmate here, unless we can find it. Good key trap. Can we get a punish? Yes, indeed. 6 heavy from safe distance. knows well the window of punish on the reversal super. There are a couple of different windows, but you know, just waiting out the full animation before swinging your long range buttons, probably one of the safest ways to deal with it as well. Dragging the key, trying to go full with the jump gate, producing plus frames for Yappie as well. Falling back into the crow, that's a big 5 heavy, nullifying the curse and getting a big hit. Look at this, full Jealous Rage. There's no better position to ever be than where PRIDUZ is now. So we have to make this count. 6B works against the far slash though. Here comes the button, yeah, I don't think you can challenge that. Fully spreading its wings is the... What do they call it? The butterfly. What's the coolest butterfly? I forgot what the name of the butterfly is, but we used to have back in my day a saying that when there's what's the name of the butterfly? This doesn't work unless I know it. Anyway, good work on PRIDUZ there, taking the round. Something butterfly, something being high on Jealous Rage and cycling your resources. Running exactly the kind of game plan that Other tends to usually win with. But now, can we reproduce that is the question. Can we consistently get into the position where we can cycle it? Immediate burst here for Yappie. PRIDUZ still has a burst of his own, but what can we do with it? Even if we burst, it's gonna be back into neutral with basically 0 life to spend. Okay, we still combo 2 essence of whiffing. That was such a cool position if that would have connected, but alas, it was not meant to be that time. And this is another matchup where, as you're trying to inch slowly towards the zoner, you are probably gonna be a little bit you're gonna be taking a little bit of chip damage on the way in. So being at an extremely low health is really tough for Ama. On the 5D, baits the burst. PRIDUZ not ready to bite just yet. Life is definitely a resource that you can and should use on characters like this. And utilizing it here. Ooh, the big 5 heavy finds its mark, but immediately burst from Yappie. You're probably gonna see more, like mostly bursts like this from Yappie as soon as like PRIDUZ finds a way in, finds a counter, finds a way to build any sort of amount of Jealous Rage. Or Jealous Gauge even. You're probably gonna see really fast. Oh, look at the whiff punish! Whiff punish with the far slash. That's kinda cracked. From Yappie's side here. Teleporting into a mix-up, gets the throw. And then some. PRIDUZ has been able to interact a little bit of extra jelly here, so we have around 4-ish seconds. Finding a 2K, but not able to follow it through, unfortunately. Oh, there we go! This is good. Spinning meter here as well. We can cycle into basically full Jealous Rage bar. Backs up a little, sees if the if the reversal super is coming. Not coming yet, at least. Time is tick-tock ticking. Finding a throw. Luckily, in some of the new patches, the time is not tick-tock ticking when you are throwing the opponent. Possession out of the corner. Ever-present RPS game that you have to play against Testament once the Succubus marker is on the field. And finds the far slash. Yeah, that would have been a big conversion as well there. Yappie playing a flawless set so far.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Skating into a throw, into another one, feeling a little frisky here. You do, of course, have an opportunity on this character to sometimes go on the offensive and force a little bit more of this strike throw game that Guilty Gear Strive is usually known for. No anti-airing against the Jealous Rage gauge state. PRIDUZ does run out of the meter. Here comes the refund though. Gonna get a wall stick, not quite. One interaction, one hit here would be extremely good. 4 seconds of Jealous Rage is... Oh, that's gonna be even more here. A solid 8 second. Mixes up with the overhead and into a smack bang. Hope is still alive on PRIDUZ's side. There we go, good parry as well. 50% jealousy. Looking for an opportunity to potentially get in or install. That's one way to get it started. Yappie nullifies it immediately before the massive jealous gauge build comes in. But we can build a little bit with these key grabs as well. No longer a plus on Flakdo. So mix up. Now I was about to say, if there's even a moment where PRIDUZ could install. Misses the blink here. Keeper of the key. I like this. We have so many resources that we should force this situation as much as possible. Finds an overhead. That should be around into a kill, maybe? Not quite. The delayed drop kick. Extremely minus there, so no choice but to hold it. Activating. 5 seconds left. Yappie finds a counter. 6p on the ground. And the throw. Time is running out. Gonna be forced. Ooh! Keeper of the key. Gotta go into a block animation here. Cursed as well. Jumping his way forward. Can we get the hit? Unfortunately not. But the good news is we still have 1 round left to go. Yappie still on a set point position. And PRIDUZ has to make it happen right here, right now. Gets shimmied though. Not punished too badly though. I mean, you do have the grappler alive to overcome some of these tough, like some of these smaller hit scenarios. That's into a low arbiter sign. To find interactions, but at this full screen position, it's hard to even find those parries when you have so many projectiles coming from so many different angles. And I think the parry does not work on lows, right? So low arbiter sign is a tough nut to crack as well. Ooh, the shimmy here in the form of the jump D. But Yappie finds the final hit on the coffin there. The low arbiter sign, as we were talking about earlier. The extremely fast neutral check. I want to say basically flawless execution of the game plan for Yappie. There was around like 2-3 rounds. That's kind of crazy to think about. Like 2-3 rounds where PRIDUZ was extremely dominant. It was very good consistency when you could get the resources. It's like you usually need either the whatchamacallit, the jealous rage or the tension, or preferably both, and then find a hit as well. That's kind of like your win condition. If you can manage those, man, it was good for PRIDUZ. But the zoner doesn't just let you do that, unfortunately. Not for free, at least. Alright, going into our third matchup of the evening, we've got a pair of newcomers here on Bounty Hunters. Humble Zoner, bringing in another Dizzy. And then Slav9, I think this is pronounced like. I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly sure, but that's like my brain, where my brain immediately goes. It's like 9, the numeral 9, and then NE is like 9. Makes sense, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's my interpretation of the situation. Let's see. I think we have players ready to go and can definitely start at will. This matchup we've had quite a bit on Bounty Hunters. I think it's the most played Robo-Kai matchup so far. And there's a couple of different ways that this can be played. I think either you try to rely on Robo-Kai's unique options that can sort of crack or can like counterplay Dizzy's projectiles, which would be the high level rockets. But we've seen players like RageWolf piloting this matchup where they don't necessarily rely on the battery options, but instead choose to play more as like any rushdown character would play on Guilty Gear Strive, which is dash block forward. I mean, no matter how you go about it, dash blocking is pretty much a guarantee, like a non-optional thing that you have to do against Dizzy. Yeah, she can force you in this kind of like mini game where you're trying to go forward, but the ice spike is so large, so horizontally space occupying, as well as so active. It's like having active frames way past double digits, or like initial double digits, is kind of a crazy feature. That's kind of like why you're usually trying to just dash block forward and trying to draw out the ice spike so it goes on like quotations cooldown for a moment before Dizzy can unleash it again. Look at the active frames. The active frames. The damn active frames. It's like, what, since the patch where they actually increased those, it's been extremely oppressive. It's been forcing players to play this game where they kind of like they absolutely have to respect it. You have to dash block unless you have some sort of really absurd option to just call it out at full screen. Alrighty then, one for Team Dizzy here. Ooh, with a close slash. Not quite able to get into the segue. Very important that you don't miss your segue finishers, because they usually are tied to your resource cycling on Robokai's side. Big 6 heavy, producing a lot of results here for Humble. Oh, nice block there. So once you do manage to block the ice spike, the situation is usually like much better than before. Like post ice spike block is so much better than pre ice spike block. You can actually enforce a little bit of RPS there in the form of like whether the Dizzy wants to activate Ice Floor, and if they do, you can just start dashing out of the ice block and get a lot of momentum and start contesting her. But before you block it or make the ice spike whip somehow, it's usually the advantage is on Dizzy's side. Look at this, exactly like this. 9 going on offensive here after the blocked ice spike, and now Robokai is a very offensively oriented character, especially when you have decent amount of battery to unleash. The pony mix-ups are basically unseeable, and tensionless mix-up opportunities as well. Speaking of, we can get a conversion here into the knee rocket. Robokai, a character that does not lack in the damage department either, particularly. Setting up the shop, taking it with the fish, taking out the fish again, no escape. While the aquarium is taking care of the shop, but 9 finding a good hit here, and half of your life from DC already gone. Are high on battery here, so level 3 missiles. Oh my god, look at this, the hitbox of the jump heavy. One of my favorite jumping buttons in the game. Hits everywhere around Robokai. One of those classic kind of buttons in fighting games. Of course, not as good for mix-up scenarios compared to jump slash from Robokai, but can be used in conjunction with the said button. 6 heavy as I think a counter throw option maybe, and then into the rocket. As long as you have battery ready to go, producing plus frames. Is this on? This is on Rematch Lobby, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure. Right, both players have put 1 point on the board.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Lots of plus frames once you block the chestnut here. Dizzy trying to stay out of harm's reach. Dizzy's a character who has like surprisingly polarized normals. Like her normals have really good range, but they are surprisingly incompetent for playing neutral. Very whiff punishable and yeah, just kind of clunky to work with. So she would usually love to not be in like active footsie range and would like to get started with her special moves instead, such as the aforementioned ice spike or the fishes. Ooh, just unleashes the super. That's gonna be a nifty little punish there for 9. Anti-air here, jumping forward, feeling a little more frisky here. That is kind of something that you can do, but speaking of those weak normals, Dizzy has some difficulties when you're jumping in. You don't have really like vertically reaching hitboxes for you. Oh, but you know what is vertically reaching? The ice spike. The flaccid missile reaches from this position. Not really using a lot of plus frames, but definitely something that you can work with. Air dash, anti-air from Humble, ends up whiffing initially. Oh, there we go, going air to air. Pushing 9 onto the ground, not quite the kill here yet, but the dash, far slash, finding its mark. Slightly faster far slash as compared to standard as well, working with a 10-framer. Robokai. Very nice tool when you need a good combination of startup as well as reach. Although somewhat outclassed by his 5 heavy, which is an absolutely brutal neutral button to play against, and really hit confirmable as well. With what we go, ooh, engages from the sky. Get a little bit of battery here from the mat. The electricity charging mat has not played like a huge role in the neutral here. There is of course an opportunity, like once you block an ice spike, you do have a moment of time where Dizzy can't really contest you per se if you wanna put down the electricity charger. So if you're desperate for more battery, you could immediately after you block an ice spike, you could like 2-2 input into it and charge a little bit. But of course that gives away momentum that you could be using to dash forward afterwards. So those are the kind of tough decisions that you have to make when you play neutral in this matchup.
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
So up a game here, Humble. Choosing to start with the ice spike. I think it works pretty decently if the opponent tries to jump, like neutral jump or jump away from you. Finding a far slash, and Robokai being one of these extremely comfortably converting characters. Look at that, the far slash 5 heavy into segue. And then also if you, finding the counter hit here, able to get the missiles. I forgot what you can combo out of it. I think it's like, if you get a counter hit 6 heavy, you would have to go into the pony. I think. Pony cancel, steer forward, and go combo like that if you want to go for like big money out of those. In that way, in that sort of way, the 6 heavy is kind of like an awkward, kind of an awkward button for Robokai. Unless you have Pony, it's like almost impossible to convert any relevant damage out of it. And of course, hit confirming is pretty committal. I haven't been able to like, unless you get like unless if you're, I guess if you get a counter hit, you get the big screen slowdown during which you can, for example, input a hit stop option select if that's like something you want to think about. Oh, nice, look at the speed. Dashing forward with the far slash. Once again, as the target does not have to cancel necessarily the 5 heavy. Although you could have an opportunity to go for electricity mass after that as well, if you recognize that the opponent is blocking your far slash 5 heavy sequences. Lots of different cancels that you can represent out of that. You go missiles to frame trap them. You could choose to, if you think they're scared, go into a mat cancel. You could just go an empty cancel. You could also cancel into, I guess, pony if you're really daring, or like Segway RC if you want to go back in. Lots of different things that Robokai can do there. Ooh, the throw is a little early here. And Zoner taking out the chestnut, working as a makeshift anti-air, grounding 9 again. This is why jumping at Dizzy can be very dangerous, but with the momentum FRC slingshot, Slav 9 is in there. Gonna clear bird as well. Quite the wall break. 6 heavy into the missiles again. Plus frames. Especially on those high-level missiles. And another one! A command grab that many other characters only dream of. Not quite in the same category as characters such as like Potemkin, but combined with the fact that you can produce guard crushes as well, puts Robokai into a kind of a unique position in the cast. Not being a grappler, but having access to like a semi grappler-ish game plan, if that's what you're gonna go for. This character has so many different ways of running offense. Like, he doesn't necessarily need to do that. He has that option, but you don't need to do that. That's the kind of cool thing about Robokai. You can represent so many different layers of offense once you actually get there. Ooh, finding a counter hit here. Immediate burst from 9. Wants to still play this out. Understandable, you have so much tension. Tries to go for the 6B, but Chestnut is already out. And that projectile arcs and finds you. Ooh, missing a close slash here. So big counter hit opportunity for Humble Zoner. Plus frame from the Chestnut, still able to get the jump out and the heavy counter hit from the air. Michael sword from a nice range here. Ooh, that's a big one. What can we do with that counter hit? That looks like a fun little opportunity. 5k stagger pressure and then the delayed Michael sword cancel there at the end. Playing a little bit of rushdown. I like that. It is Guilty Gear after all. And even if you're a character such as like, you know, Axel Low, Bedman, Dizzy, even if you have access to these semi-zoning game plans, pretty much every character in Guilty Gear has always been able to rush down, at least to a certain extent. And Dizzy definitely no exception here. In fact, has access to plus frame printing moves such as the Chestnut, the Flaming Dagger, starting with a 6P, or sorry, 6 heavy. Big counter hit. But again, very hard to hit confirm. So generally a low yield, damage yielding button. Go 6 heavy, not cancelled into wings, although if you do get the full charge on 6 heavy on Dizzy, you can cancel still into Wings of Light and B+. Keeping up the battery. Ooh, no RC here. The Segway is extremely punishable on block. Good on Humble, recognizing that. Throw should do enough damage. Yes, indeed, secures the round here. Ooh, wait a minute, goes for a fully charged 5D, but just a couple of pixels outside of the active range. Giving a different character here, like for example May, that would have definitely reached. The IB straight into a close slash, into a big hit confirm. And luckily the Segway first hit didn't break the wall there, because it was super important that 9 got the second hit that actually brings back the electricity. Now we can go on offensive with the 50 electricity in tank, which is super important here. Cancels into Lucky Lounger, unfortunately, which does not reach. But still holding at least one level 2 special move. Ends up using it for missiles, but not able to convert into pressures from that. Those are kind of big decisions here, especially when you're drawing around the like the 40, 30-ish around battery mark. You're like, okay, so if I use one more special move here, it is gonna put me at a battery amount that is basically level 1, which could potentially be a problem. Like losing presence at neutral with those level 2 missiles and the like is it can be a thing. It can be a factor depending on how you choose to play. But of course, even outside of the higher level special move options, Robokai can kind of function as a standard rushdown character. He is moderately fast at dashing forward, so, you know, dash blocking, always an option. Even if you're in a position like this, yep, dash blocking. And the speed gets 9 there in a position to get the /5 heavy, and if you do get those, then you get enough electricity back to be back on track again. Right, Humble Zoner with a lot of tension here. Misses with the 5 heavy, gotta be careful with those. The downside, the downfall of Dizzy neutral buttons is that they have a lot of recovery, so they are extremely whiff punishable, and that is very dangerous against Robokai. Both 5 heavy and /slash are really good buttons for whiff punishing at even far ranges. Finding a hit here. Enabling the mat. Oh, but Humble Zoner gets out of there. Yeah, the dash block plan. Immediately after blocking the ice spike, the way is forward. The sort of relevant piece of information there is that if you are already dashing forward as ice floor manifests, then you don't lose momentum and you don't have to do the Looney Tunes skid kind of slipping and sliding in place. It's kind of like one of the core gists of the ice spike RPS. The 2 heavy ends up missing there. The rocket goes off target. It's okay. Re-engaging on 9's side. And keeping up on the tailing Humble Zoner, not letting him run away with too much of a lead. Right. Very side-by-side score here. Humble Zoner, small advantage, but a lot of things can still happen in this set as we are sort of engaged in the mid-game rounds here of this FT7. The back shimmy. Prompting Slav to go for a burst. Not get sort of locked down in the corner. Getting locked down there can be kind of nasty business. Especially considering Dizzy good engage on those chestnut loops. Yep, immediately dashing forward after blocking the spike. Always RPSing, always threatening with the engagement. The B&B conversion. Ooh, missing with the throw. I think must have been a couple of pixels away. Like if there is a down, oh nice wave punish there. That should finish the round with a simple BMB. Like if there is a downside to RoboKai's command grab, it is definitely range. I think it's like almost same range as normal throw, or even shorter range. It's like you basically have to be absolutely point blank with the opponent to be able to land it. So there's that kind of balancing feature. If he had any more range, it would be kind of a nutty tool. Like absolutely, like not kind of, but absolutely nutty, I want to say. Coming out with the jump slash, but no cancel here. I think one of the first occasions we see Robo's jump slash being used here this set. Of course, that button requires a little bit of finesse. You can kind of convert any close range strings into a pony and then cancel into jump slash to mix the opponent up really badly. But like I said, it's more maybe around like if you're not at that skill level yet, it's okay. You don't necessarily have to utilize that that side of RoboKai's kit. He has a lot of other tools going in for him as well, but it is at higher levels definitely one of those go-to mix-up tools that really scream like OP. Once you do get in those positions, of course, you have to work a little bit to get there. And when I say have to work a little bit, well, I guess land too heavy on block. That's kind of what you have to do. Because too heavy is a projectile technically. It produces a lot of lost frames. It produces situations that the opponent like can't do much about, especially if you are a non-DP character. Slightly plus there from the level 2 missiles. Oh, that gets caught on the ice spike. Immediate burst, and now dash blocking forward. On the lookout from that active poke range of Robos. Misses with the far slash. Ooh, too heavy. Very whiff punishable. 9 was a little late there to the party, but not this time. Finds a far slash. Sees the burst coming as well. This is big. Humble Zoner does have a lot of tension, so technically reversal super is an option on the table. Does not have to reach for it though. Usually tools like that is more about the existence of the move. Like existence of the high risk, get me out of this mess kind of move rather than utilizing it. But of course, if you never represent those tools, then your opponent might discern that they don't exist after all. So you kind of have to keep them at the back of your opponent's mind if you want to, you know, introduce RPS with those, of course. The far slash gets there before this is 670. Yeah, that's very minus. Didn't have the tension there to cancel. So Humble Zoner getting a little punish here, jumping backwards with the jump slash, finding a hit, finding another one, counter. Was maybe expecting a burst to come out, but 9 smartly delaying a little bit, getting some value from the burst baiting RPS. Going into the BMB, can we get the wall break? Not quite. High on the, ooh, the trade. Rather neutral, but the chestnut lunges across the screen faster than the missiles from the air. I kind of get that, the willingness for 9 to go airborne and unleash those missiles. It's kind of a semi-safe position in many other matchups where the opponent doesn't have those, like, projectiles that can reach that kind of zone, high up in the air, far away. But Dizzy is one of those characters that absolutely can, with that chestnut projectile and its tracking. So now, Humble Zoner has been able to build relevant momentum and starting with a ballsy, gutsy move. Jumps over, but 9 ready to score in, rack in the counter hit, close slash, anti-air conversion. Ooh, missed with the jump heavy. I think that was a little early here. Good FD against the guard crush. FD overall is kind of strong against RoboKai. for all the aforementioned problems, such as the range problems on the guard crush as well as the command grab. Okay, we are unleashing. Leading to a hard knockdown. Can I use all the batteries as well? Interestingly, I wonder what Humble Zoner tried to input there. Kind of looked like wing startup. It's okay. Set point position, Humble Zoner. Starting with the far slash. Yep, 10 framer. I think much faster than anything that Dizzy can represent there. I think 10 framer is like the strategical speed that. I think it's 11. 11 frames is kind of like the number that she struggles to deal with. But you know what the opponent struggled to deal with here. The fully charged 5D didn't fully convert it though. One more hit, then the set right here. Reversal super. Wowee. Felt very, very frisky here on the last round. Humble Zoner brings it home 7-3. Against 9's Robokai. Good stuff. And really cool as well to sort of get these kind of like lower skill level matches as well, where you do have the basic game plan down versus Dizzy. Because like I find even in like higher skill levels, sometimes people are still kind of like not in the know for how to play the Dizzy matchup, and sometimes just get completely dominated by the ice spikes. It's really cool to see that like players of all skill levels have found these same tools to at least get to play the matchup as it's meant to be played. Dash blocking against ice spike can't really avoid it. It's just something you have to get used to in that matchup. But now, next up, we've got Ruka back for 2 weeks in a row. After his debut last Bounty Hunters, is gonna go up against a newcomer here, Spellrunner Jam. A very rumble and tumble kind of a matchup. Two characters that can bring a lot of heat to the table in their own different ways. Let me do a couple of magic tricks here before we get started. Let me check what the. I already forgot what the score was, or what the results were for Ruka's debut game. I think Ruka won it, right? Yeah. It was a pretty convincing win on Ruka's side. And now looking to potentially run it back for even more fame and, unfortunately, not fortune, but fame at least here in Bounty Hunters. Even though we are named Bounty Hunters, there paradoxically is no bounty at the end to be scored or racked in. I mean, maybe one day if we like, it would be kind of cool to sort of run small little bounties for for winners in the format that is Gold Bounty Hunters, but you know, maybe one day. Anyway, Baiken Jam. Baiken definitely, or sorry, Jam being like the gorilla representative here, has a lot of skill points put in offense. Baiken, on the other hand, is a little bit more balanced sort of kit. What Baiken generally struggles at or has difficulties at is far range and neutral. But once you do get into a position where you can mix up the opponent, her mix-up is good, her damage is good, and she is pretty okay on defense as well, having an extremely unique defensive option in the frame 1 parry, which can also be performed as a red parry. So a parry straight out of block stun, or either during block stun, if you're sort of like a third strike player and know the terminology. Right, starting with the axe kick. Ooh, and representing the command hop as well. I cursed the day when they gave Sin's command hop to Jam in this game. Damn, they did my boy so dirty. Having a command hop like that you can cancel into your other special moves is really cool. Really cool feature. So good on you, Jam players. Happy for you. Congrats. For stealing my beloved tool. Anyway, 1 round apiece here. Both players with the full amount of burst available, which Ruka has been kind of prompt to unleash here in order to not get locked down. Spellrunner switches side, big one. Yep, that's gonna be minus. Ruka, even though not punishable, that Ryutsui can be used to take your turn, and getting a throw there as Baiken is huge, because from a throw you can hold your button and attach the kabari, or I actually forgot if you have to hold to attach or not to. I think you hold to attach the tether, which is kind of like going straight into your win condition. BRC to not only save yourself, but to set up another mix-up, and they just keep on coming. The mental stack keeps on stacking. This character is a menace once you get close and personal with the opponent. Always has been the Chinese lady. Absolutely scary gorilla. Regardless of the spacing as well. Like, you could be in the opponent's face. She's extremely scary to deal with, but from mid-range as well, because she has all of these like mobility options that can RPS the opponent from pretty far away, such as Bakshu, Puffball that we see here, Ryujin, as well as just, you know, ramming herself at the opponent with the classical instant air dash and good air buttons. Right, cashing out here from the Ryutsui. Oh, into Ryutsui again. If you think the overhead is coming after you see her go airborne, you have to wonder if you can trust your fighting game instincts. Jam is a character that just absolutely preys on your primal fighting game reactions. Because you can never be sure if a low is coming or not, even if the opponent takes air. And here with the command hop, Ruka RPSing correctly, guessing a way out, close slash, yep, burst them into the corner. Pretty good decision there from Spellrunner, but unfortunately not yielding, unable to get through the opponent's guard in the follow-up situation. And now we move into this last round. Ruka having a distinct burst advantage. With 6p though, dropping in the corner, and now time to guess, Butty. Ooh, big whiff on the puffball, and getting punished on the way down. Oh, but you hit everywhere with those air buttons. Tried to go for a red parry, but the timing window is so tight. The balancing feature of the ability to go for the red parry during a block stun is that you have to time it perfectly, picture perfectly. You get a punish? No, he recovers in time. Able to get a stock charge here, and now into the victory condition that we were talking about. the tether mix-up. Oh, but we got the 6P. We got the anti-airs on board here. And Spellrunner. Looking good here, looking good. I mean, it's probably like a layer of neutral that you probably should have against Baiken, because like if the opponent never anti-airs you, doing something really simple, such as like just an instant air dash jump slash to get your engine started, just completely negates the neutral, the hard part of the game that you have to play, and gets you right where you want to be in the opponent's face, mixing them up, pressuring them up. But if the opponent represents those anti-airs successfully, can't really rely on that. You have to actually play the video game, play the neutral, which is, I know, tragic to all of you set play players out there. But sometimes a necessary evil. All right, cashing out. Ruka has a lot of meter to work with here, with which we are gonna go into a successful last hit here out of the neutral jump. Guesses out the, I think it was a throw attempt, ended up getting countered there. Oh, here we go, mix-up time. Just lands in the front with that close slash. Kind of big dick energy doing that, right? You're expecting some sort of like a left, right, or even high low, but no, you just land in there and raise the pressure into the biggest combo starter ever. Ooh, there's the parry. Gotta be careful with that, though. You can produce very delayed options with the Jam's command dash. Or sorry, command jump. If you think an immediate Ryutsui or immediate Gekirin is coming, yeah, that immediate parry is gonna take care of those. But if it's a little more delayed than that, potentially looking at a situation where you get counter hit into big numbers. Ooh, the Yosan was not plus from that angle? Question mark? Missing the combo, we think the 6 heavy, it's okay, we are still doing it. Sorry about the hiccups. Customary bounty hunters QK hiccups. You know the heat is on when I get the hiccups. You know that's usually a point where I'm like, fuck, I haven't been breathing for the last 5 minutes. So big tip for any aspiring commentators, remember to breathe during your commentator blocks. You might get hiccups otherwise, your brain is like, oxygen low. Ooh, we got them with the Yozan. Over the head. And an overhead at the same time. This time Spellrunner is the one that goes for the instant air dash. Misses it by a smither. And now charging a Ryujin card. So in expectations of finding basically any hit and then breaking it immediately with that, the clean hit Ryujin. Exactly, that's the reason why we charged it, baby. Spellrunner. Of course, if your opponent gets out of there without you mixing them up or finding a hit, then you would probably argue, why did I not charge Ryutsui instead? That card would have so much more value, right? So much more utility. So charging Ryujin is kind of like a statement. You're expecting the game plan to unfold in a particular way. And also, when you see Ryujin being charged on the opponent's point of view, that should ring a bell that you shouldn't get hit by normals in the near future. Because otherwise, this will happen. The clean hit charged Ryujin is gonna break the wall immediately from basically any hit. Gonna be, oh wait, was that charged? Because if it was, you actually don't have to spend YRC in there. It's kind of your turn. But Ruka might have been more vigilant than I was. Maybe that was a card at Ryutsui. Good throw, can charge a card here. Goes for the Ryujin again. And can't quite complete the sequence. That would have been a wall break if Spellrunner wanted to go for it. Oh, but sends it air to air. Big KD in the corner. Why is he going to get me out of there? Jump slash, big range for Bike, and however, Spellrunner ready with the 6P this time. 2S finding a counter hit. This should be a pretty comfortable combo. Oh, can we block? Yes, indeed, and that's gonna be not quite the kill. And the BRC gets Spellrunner out of there. Close slash grazes the air. Last pixel finds a hit, and that could be a kill. That should be a kill, and that is gonna be a kill. Slightly unfortunate for Ruka. I think from the super punish, if we, instead of going for the throw, if we went for like a close slash starter or a 6 heavy starter, that could have potentially been a kill. I wasn't looking if Spellrunner had still the burst available there. And if they did, then the decision to go for the throw would have definitely made a lot of sense. Right, 2 cards. Both the Ryujin as well as the Ryutsui. All the dragons carded and ready to go. Gonna go into plus frames. Good, respecting it. The second Ryutsui. Finding its mark. Ooh, did Spellrunner press a button? Yes, indeed. So we are out of there. This is gonna still be a tough round for Ruka to take. Got them backdashing. That was a good range. So good convert there, Spellrunner. Wanting to still play this. Sends the Ryujin, sends the RC, and OTG would have not been enough, I think. So opted to go for the card charge instead. Very good presence of mind there. Finding the hit, and with the extra physics pulling them together. 6P, ready for it in any sort of a situation is a good attribute to have, good ability to have in fighting games. Again, no matter what the situation, always be ready with the anti-air. Always be thinking about it, should always be your #1 priority. Yes, indeed. Ruka still trying to hard force it, but Spellrunner being like, nah-uh. I'm gonna do it twice, I'm gonna do it thrice, and I'm gonna do it even more. It kind of requires, so here's the thing, being ready for the anti-air kind of requires to sit still and look at what your opponent is doing. So it, to a certain extent, fighting games asks you to stop playing in order to be like in a perfect position for a grounded anti-airs. Which could be a tall ask for characters who love to just rely on mobility and rely on not being there. Characters who don't necessarily have like best neutral pokes. But being able to find like a balance between, you know, looking for the anti-airs and moving around and being tricky. That's kind of like the salt, the crux of like playing characters like this at neutral, at least from my point of view. Of course, there are different ways of playing fighting games, and you can have your own ideology. Oh, what if Jam used 4-speed, Obi-Wan style, went a little bit too far, maybe a little bit too much dash momentum there, skips straight over Ruka's head and loses the round. The Jedi's taught you maybe a little bit too well. 6B on point once again, finding a frame trap, but committed to the follow-up sequence and not getting a conversion out of it. The command hop into plus frames from the Geki. I think that's plus frames from the command hop, right? There's a lot of different ways that the Geki can hit. I kind of forgot what all the conditions are. I think the cross-up is always minus, then the grounded one from the front are always minus. I forgot. Either way, Ruka pulling through with another game here, basically saying, not done yet. Spellrunner has had so much momentum moving forward, but we are definitely not ready to give this up yet. Show the thanks.
Duel 1.
Be the wolf that you were destined to be. Be the wolf and bite the dragon, lady. Oh, once again, stands up to block, but the Ryutsu is such a nasty tool. Grounding jam instantly and producing a low. Speaking of lows, we got him with a big counter hit. Yeah, you bet your ass the 6P is ready to be unleashed. Keeping Ruka in the corner, but this time fighting a nice little air-to-air jump slash. Forced into the other corner though. Spellrunner. Very commanding presence and very good control on a character that you don't, I guess, usually wouldn't expect necessarily to control the neutral that much, but instead just impose your will and run like a car crash kind of a game plan. But again, lots of different playstyles in fighting games, and that's the cool part. That's my favorite thing about fighting games. So many different playstyles, so many ways to solve problems that you can see on the screen. Finding a hit here, but luckily Spellrunner does have the no card to be represented here in order to not get locked in the corner. Ruka breaks out of there as well. Oh, the jump slash. I think the jump slash was supposed to be Yozan. Okay, the parry works out against the Ryutsu. Good spacing here on Ruka. Right outside of the instant air dash distance. That's a really nice position to play. No matter what fighting game, or rather, no matter what air dasher. If your opponent has strong jumping buttons from their air dashes, just, you know, position yourself at a spacing where they're not at the active range of that connecting. One way to deal with it, other than just straight up anti-airing it. Sending the Ryujin with the use of 50 meter. Watcha! Looking for one more hit. We do have Gekirin. Spends it immediately. Unfortunately, ends up whipping with it. And now the run back from Ruka. Ooh, that was not tight. That was not a safe jump. Waking up with the 6P. Mamma mia! Spellrunner knew what they were doing. Command hop into tough to block pressure. And once you find your your mental stack exploited, then we bring in the throw options. Ooh, got him. Into. Again, the land from the front into close slash. But it's working. It's kind of like the no mix-up in a way, where you have so many nasty mix-ups to mix the opponent up that they are thinking about all of those and then getting hit by the most mundane of hits. I would know. I've been there. I've been there too. And now Spellrunner at a very respectable point of an FT7 set. 6-3. One of the most common numbers to be at the end of the set. And Ruka represented with the question. Nice jump out of the mix-up though. Ooh, and mix-ups a little bit of their own. The drive-by Yozensen finds a hit, finds a conversion, and then the TK Yozen. Not a counter hit though, so can't convert. This jump slash is a counter hit. Ruka empowered by the proposition of losing it right here. Like, nuh-uh, ain't gonna happen. But a close slash starter, forcing Ruka to reach for the defensive option. Blue burst, get out of there. For now, finding a close slash hit with that 5 heavy is a very, very stubby kind of normal. Send the dragon kick, RC as well, keep the pressure going, and then what are we mixing up with? Command hop, Ruka jumps out of there though. Nice read on the situation. Ooh, that looked like a burst read again, but maybe was not holding the block long enough. The re-jump there, making Spellrunner's anti-airs whiff That's kind of cool, because Spellrunner has been so consistent with those layer 1 anti-airs. Ruka is actually introducing more layers, more angles to mix up the approach. The double jump is there. Late moment air dashes are there. There are so many different ways of modifying your jumping angle in air dasher games like Guilty Gear. Ruka's still in there. 3 more to go. And we could change history. That is absolutely plus. And baits the burst as well. Ruka doubling it up, speed running it even. Got the wall break too. And now resources coming in, as well as having the extra damage modifier on top of that. What the positive bonus produces. Can we still procure it? No, a little bit too high. The jump slash didn't connect cleanly. Now Spellrunner threatening a run back. We do need a couple more hits here though. Ooh, the red parry gets counter hit. Yeah, lots of respect here for the position and for the explosive potential of Spellrunners. Burst out of there, don't risk it. Just take the round. Cost you some burst or cost you all of the burst, but generally I think it's a safe and good investment of your resources. High level players definitely recommend this. Spellrunner has used his burst aggressively, but not able to close out the round here. Ruka breaking out of the corner and now mixing, running a train of their own. Close slash finds its mark. I think that was on maybe Bakshu or something. I think I saw some momentum there. Through the wall, set point position again. Spellrunner attempting to end it right here and right now before Ruka is able to build any sort of confidence or more momentum. Of course, you never know about the confidence level of these fighters struggling for their life on screen live with thousands of viewers watching. Let's see, this time Ruka engages with an empty jump in. Ooh, and then from the backside with a classic Yozan. Instead of going for the air throw or any sort of anti-air, chooses to engage himself. Spellrunner gets their air momentum slowed by the BRC, and once again Ruka with a really nice read. Jumping out of the throw. Those throws haven't been sinking, especially on the left corner. Was that baited? That was baited, I think! 6P still, despite everything. Can we get a throw? Ooh, that was definitely meant to be a throw. Maybe, perhaps, jump D, reversal super. Did Spellrunner block the big $1 million question? Answer is no, sir. Ruka is living to fight another day, betting the farm and surviving to tell the tale. Two more to go. Man, that would be a massive run back for Ruka. Despite what happens, this is already so good. Even if we were to go down here, Ruka, one of the most impressive looking, or one of the most what's the word I'm looking for? Most interesting game producing bounty hunters regulars as of late. But let's see what's gonna happen here. Spellrunner with a big combo here, sending the dragon kick again, imposing his will, not allowing Ruka to play the video game, but running a game plan like that does require you to spend some resources. Trying to guess right. Oh, the dragon kick. There we go, finally my turn. The uncarded Ryutsui without spending tension. I mean, Spellrunner could have RC'd that actually to keep the train going still. But that's a scary kind of showcase of how positive bonus can be really nasty in Guilty Gear Strive. Just running pressure and generating resources. Is that gonna be a kill? Wall break into? Oh, he didn't get it! Ruka didn't get it, unfortunately. 6 heavy breaks the wall. The gun goes into the wrong direction. But Spellrunner didn't have the timing to anti-air. The last minute burst. Can we still get it? 2S misses. Jump slash hits its target. Ruka. living with a pixel and a dream for a better future. Once again, the neutral jump into a come down jump slash has been one of the trusted defensive features of Ruka's, and again, it works out. Why do anything different? Why change the defensive plan when it's working out so well? Just up back. But let's see if Spellrunner has anything to say about that now. All the cards on the table. The blue, green, and the red. Sends the blue one. The dragon roars. But not close enough to break the wall immediately. Ryujin, Ryutsui, everything goes for the red parry, which ends up missing. I think that was not a red parry, but parry nonetheless. The delayed option. We were talking about that earlier. The delayed feature, the delayed nature of those command hops from Jam, producing enough delay to bait out the throw, or sorry, the parry there. But baits out the throw as well, and then the parry on top of that. The neutral trade, jump slash, immediate burst from Spellrunner. Skips in there with the box shoe. We're mixing, but the 6P calls out the command hop, and the body tornado ends up missing! Big opportunity, 100 meter. How are we cashing out? Wall break, super, maximum damage. He spent everything, but I don't think it's enough. It's gonna get the hard knockdown though. Ruka needs this. What's it gonna be? Just attach the S-Kabari, plus frames, align yourself, and fire the war maul, the hammer from your sleeve. Whatever that is that Baiken is pulling out, the infernal contraption from his right pocket, straight in Spellrunner's face, bringing it up. 6-0, baits the burst as well. Attach the Kabari. Ruka looking like a completely different player from the start of the set. What happened? I don't know, but this is what adrenaline and a little bit of download bandwidth will get you. Ryujin is carded. Sends it. Accompanying with a 50 tension investment as well. But now Ruka has so much meter. Cashing out, spends it all. And very close to a kill, not quite though. Technically, this is the first time in the set that Ruka is winning. I mean, even on rounds, but the live situation, can we get there? Forced to break it with a soft knockdown. Anybody's game. Ooh, gets anti-air there, the trade, but in whose favor? It's Ruka! Checkpoint rukarequiem! Are you kidding me? Now the pressure is on Spellrunner. He's been running such a successful set, but at the very last moment, Ruka running it back, misses with the Kabari though. Jump slash again, aligning yourself with the airborne opponent. Oh, I think that was missed TK Yozan. Maybe. Ooh, the Yozan ends up whipping. It's okay. Close slash finds its mark. Is that how it's gonna end? The 100 meter ain't gonna quite end it here by going in this wall break situation with 50 in the tank. This is big. And it's there! Ruka brings it back from the brink. What was the situation? 3-6. But the warrior, the wolf, never gives up, keeps biting, and the dragon is dead. The dragon is actually dead. Ruka brought it back from beyond the grave. What a comeback. That's why you never give up, even in your most desperate hour. What a great set. And Ruka maintaining their undefeated status on Bounty Hunter 2-0. What an introduction. But really great match from Spellrunner as well, making it extremely interesting. Welcome to Bounty Hunters. That was a great ass set from both players. I'm gonna have to take a little sip there and calm down a bit. Ooh, next up, we've got 2 more matches to go. First, we're gonna do this one. So KomiYouko is here for the first time, showing up with a Dizzy, second Dizzy of the evening. And the opponent tonight is gonna be a LagBoy's Johnny, not the Biken, but the Johnny the LagBoy has been rocking for the past couple of events. First matchup from the intermediate bracket before we move to our last super high level match of the evening, which would be Butty and RageWolf. But before that, we're gonna watch some Dizzy versus Johnny. LagBoy has been looking really good on that Johnny as well. I want to say, sometimes I want to say like almost as good as the supposed main that is Biken. And in this matchup, I think probably in this matchup you would want to play Johnny instead. I mean, of course, when you sign up for Bounty Hunters, you generally don't get to choose, like, don't get to pick your character based on your opponent. But sometimes the luck of the draw lands in. Well, I'm not sure. I don't play either of these characters, like Biken or Johnny, so should not be commentating on that. Although Johnny does seem like you have a couple more options in the, you know, doing stuff other than just dash blocking kind of department. Let me yeah, we have the players ready to go as well, I think. Apparently this matchup sucks for Dizzy. I'll believe it. I mean, I think this match was pretty tough in Exert as well for Dizzy's side, if I'm not mistaken. So when you're a character that kind of wants to do stuff from slightly further away, Johnny tends to be usually your public enemy number one. Because Mistfinder is Mistfinder is always Mistfinder. Always has been, always will be. With a cool new skin as well here. The whatchamacallit, the country Dizzy from the battle pass. Really happy for you Dizzy players, as well as who was the character who got the special skin last battle batch? I forgot. Maybe one day us Sin players will get something cool as well. But now, Komi versus LagBoy. Let's go with the golden aura as well. As we call in the Finnish fighting game scene, the Clout Gas, or the artist previously known as Clout Gas. Now nowadays though, when nobody plays Tower anymore, it's not quite as prestigious. But 6 heavy, activating the wings into more 6 heavy. It is a guard crush and it gives you a lot of plus frames, so if your opponent lets it rock, you will happily run it. I believe that the wing timer is restarted on stage transition. That's gonna call it out. The Joker trick, having your eyes open against Dizzy on Johnny with 50 meter. Turns out it's kind of good indeed. Right, time to mix it up. Going for a fully charged 5 heavy. Checking out the reactions. Are we an Unk or are we not an Unk? The test says Unk reactions right here. Let's see how it's gonna be in the future. First one is always for free. At least in my experience. When somebody pulls out a fully charged 5D, it's like the first one always hits. I'm like, what the hell am I seeing? How dare you? How dare you represent this absolute reactable garbage? And then I just eat it like a vacuum cleaner. Ooh, okay, drifting backwards out of it, got the counter hit, but didn't trust in the hit. So now LagBoy back into the full screen state, tries to assume the Mistfinder. However, the Ice Spike is always the ever-looming threat. Ooh, still able to combo into it. That's kind of cool from the back drift. And if you, I wonder, so if the ice floor is on, it's always like a huge question, like if because like we've had this talk on Dizzy versus Leo already, and I think Leo's step dash does not interact favorably with the ice floor. But how about Johnny? Because you do have the Mistfinder dash as well, which I'm not sure if that gets affected by the physics change of the ice floor. Maybe we'll get to see as the set progresses. Should have a lot of time to represent the ice floor option. Revolt deal into a successful hit, breaking it with the max damage as well, slicing some booze bottles. Ooh, too much momentum! Komi at the very last bit of their life bar was able to hit. I think, oh, the Mistfinder. Yeah, it's tough because Mistfinder reaches so far and does a little bit of chip damage as well. So, but if you respect it too much, then you might get Walt dealt, and Johnny just gets in on you. It's tough. Got them with the low explosion. Ooh, instant air dash over the head. The ice spike is still active. Reversal super. Komi was smartly waiting for it, and now setting up the full shot here. The very delayed Michael Sword frame traps LagBoy. Can we get the kill? Not quite. Wasn't able to get the link there from the instant air dash. Mistfinder. Reversal super. Ooh, baits here on the side of LagBoy now. Couldn't quite get the punish though, unfortunately. This reversal super does push you quite far away, especially if you're blocking it from a far distance already. So then, depending on like how much of a punish or how big of a punish you want to mount, might have to think about what you want to do. Through the guys we go. Ooh, got them with that delayed Mistfinder. LagBoy still with that life advantage. Komi has to be very careful here. Ooh, but the Mistfinder! If you go with the close by Ice Spike, LagBoy showing the stuff what to do about it. Assume Mistfinder stands a dash forward. I think at that point the active frames of the Ice Spike had already ended and sliced all the way through it. Alright, I'm starting to see the vision of the tools that Johnny can use in the matchup. Tried to deal straight into Ice Spike, unfortunately. It does look like Johnny will, to a certain extent, still have to play the RPS just like any other character. Dizzy is very strong in that sense. Like regardless of what you think about Dizzy's like overall game plan as a whole, I don't think there's a single character in the game that gets to just ignore Ice Spike RPS. Which is kind of cool, being a character that can just say, I'm gonna assert my game, I'm gonna play my game. And the layer one is that, oh no! The layer one is that you're gonna extend yourself into my million active frames of Ice Spike. And you're gonna spiral into deep depression in your ice cube on the other side of the screen. Alright, time to mix it up. Deal. Reveal the card. What's your hand? Michael Sword S out of the corner. Caught them with the long-range Ice Spike, and now mixing it up with the fishes. Sleeping with the fishes. Skewered by the spikes. YRC, get out of there. The Mistfinder much faster than the Michael Sword, unfortunately. So there is that when you are in the striking distance. Oh, the TK Fighter into a successful cash out LagBoy. Doing what Johnny players love to do. Definitely not in your best interests to let the player, or rather let the opponent play when they're in the corner and you have resources to spend. But now, 6 heavy, wings, 4-6 heavy. Burst out of there is the choice this time around. Ooh, but gets frame trapped by the Michael Sword, and we could have more of the same, unless we want to break. The S-Michael Sword isn't gonna be enough. But now DC is definitely in a good position. Joker trick. Wait, that good. What? Cleaves through the thingy-majig? Okay, that's an interesting interaction. I thought for a moment that Joker trick would extend Johnny's hurtbox into it and just get frozen. But apparently, I guess it kind of like collides with it, and then, you know, it's considered out of the way because you already like clashed the projectiles. Is that how it works? Probably have to be initially, like when you are casting Joker trick or when you are inputting Joker trick, you gotta be initially outside of the ice spike range, I would wager. It's a very interesting interaction though, and another Joker trick here. Covers the distance extremely fast, even if you are full screen away. But Komi showing a little bit of the far range options here of the invulnerable kind. Close by, Ice Spike also preventing Volt Deal going in. Slashing through the spike. And then the Mistfinder distance get thrown, and that's gonna be enough, even without having to set up the Oki. Even without checking what the card on the top of the draw pile is. Spoiler, it's always gonna be a guard crush. No matter what card you draw, always gonna be a guard crush. Into some more mix-ups. Ooh, 6P works out there, huh? I think generally, yeah, I guess it was close enough. Even with, I was about to say, even with this is insignificantly small 6P. Now Deflect Shield gets a little bit of value, but the forward moving momentum send the chestnut and then keep them still. Ice Spike, cash out a little bit of damage. LagBoy finds a really nice angle though, gets cornered, and with the super delayed Michael Sword again, finds the frame trap, breaks it with the heavy. Pulling them out of the sky with the jump B. Tries to set up a deal here, but Komi smartly not respecting the slow setup. 5B does grace it, and is gonna convert into a kill, bringing it 2 points each. Very nice. Nice and even start to this set. Yeah, speaking of Dizzy 6P, a little short to put it kindly. But sometimes you have to. One of those buttons. Oh, tries to 6P, but it's so horizontally small. Many other characters would have definitely connected there. Here comes the burst, dash blocking into the spike. And Komi having a really nice RPS there, jumping over the Mistfinder initially. RC to push the Mistfinder pressure. Of course, Mistfinder is -15, and I think most of Dizzy's poke should be good enough to punish from even like far mid-range if Mistfinder is blocked. Namely, I think far slash. But of course, it's not an easy thing. It's Mistfinder, one of those moves that has almost no hit stop whatsoever. So really easy to miss a punish, even if you have potentially a poke that is 15 frames or slower, or sorry, faster. Is S Michael Sword fast enough? Let me pull out frame data here. It actually is, yeah, it is 15 frames of startup, so that is definitely an option. That will never miss. So then that's kind of a cool thing to know. Unless if S Michael Sword has travel time. I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure it's a laser beam. Or at least I think it's a laser beam.
Mankind knew that. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Right into the Mistfire, got the throw, and repeat. Turn it up. It's a guard crush. Oh, but tried to dash forward with the Mistfire stance, meeting with Komi's 6B there. Plus frames. Oh, and the delayed Michael swords are hitting real nice like. And those can be very rewarding as well, especially if the opponent is like close around in the corner and if you get a nice counter hit. Looking for one more hit after this. What, frame kill maybe? Or missed the summon input? Nobody knows. But we're looking for one more. Tap 5D, that's a cool option that we haven't seen Komi represent so far. Other than that fully charged 5D in game number 1. But of course, the normal dust, the tap dust, is way harder to react to. Instead of a 30 frame reaction check, 20 frame. Nice combo here. Who wants to burst out, in fact, straight into the ice spike. Ooh, Komi went for that throw a little too early, or maybe outside of reach, I don't know. Ooh, same problem for LagBoy. Drifting in there, missing with the jump slash. Both players trying to desperately mount some sort of offensive threats here. Oh my god, that was still active. It's still active. Crazy, crazy tool. The throw should be enough. Boom shakalaka. Keeping it nice and even here, 3-3. Starting with trying to disengage from the round start position, which is kind of understandable. Johnny has probably some of the best, if not the best, round start kit available in the business. Not only a 9-frame far slash, but a lot of nasty tools such as like 2S that just don't let you back out of the initial interaction. Into a mixer, to the other side, sending them into the corner with the S Michael Sword deal. Oh, back straight into the pillar. That's slightly unfortunate. Stands up to block the overhead this time around. Third time's the charm. The micro delay there. Komi not biting into that one. Wall break, inbound, and then LagBoy needs to stall for a couple of moments in order to bring those extra resources home. Although, because of that, oh no, the YRC was outside of the minimum range, or the maximum range rather, causing LagBoy to just vault over it and come down into a guaranteed punish. Crush into, yeah, nice. Doesn't let the bluffing happen. Really important, especially if the Johnny player keeps like representing these these resets into a redraw or redeal rather in the middle of the pressure. Really important that you sometimes represent aggressive options that time. Can't just poke out and call Johnny out for doing it. Like so. That's a little bit too slow though. And the Joker trick is gonna find the target. Not gonna break the wall though. And now, with the double dash, can set up a guard crush again. strategically positioning himself so that the reversal super from Dizzy was not an option, I think, because like that's why you dashed back in the Mistfinder stance, right? Right, but now we can set up some more daring options, such as DK Mistfinder in the opponent's face. Jonathan is gonna go through the wall, and oh wait, is that minus? Minus for Johnny? Collides with the ice spike. Oh my god! Such a fat ice spike with long-lasting consequences. It's like what? It's like 20 frames of active frames or something crazy like that, or even more. $36? I think no way. I just look at the frame data. That's kind of crazy. Right, Jeremiah slashing a decent amount of life from Komi, and that's gonna be enough with that throw. Taking the leading position here, at least for a while. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the 2S. Such a strong tool, like working really well in tandem with the far slash, because if the opponent tries to like go under your far slash or tries to walk back, then 2S is there to reach like almost... I'm pretty sure you can't walk away from that, right? So it's such a potent combination, having the fastest possible type of far slash as well as a low poke that you can walk out of. Almost unfair, if you ask me. Kind of forces you to interact immediately with Johnny. Alright, you get the wall break here, and even without utilizing the wings, knock Johnny out of there. Ooh, just a raw deal without any, sorry, a raw bolt without any dealing. What's the deal with that? Big combo inbound, cashing out. Setting up the fish as well, so that there's no really like, not really anything that LagBoy could have done there, I don't think. Not even a backdash in the corner position. Checking with the Michael sword. Ooh, missing with the jump in. That's kind of a problem for Dizzy. Those jump ins are not very deep at all. The little tail, the 2K, ends up whiffing, it's okay. 6P comes out in time to call out the Volt deal. Again, the sort of like mid-close-ish distance where Komi has been able to 6P that Volt on reaction. I assume it's on reaction. Could be a raid as well. Multiple different ways of solving these problems depending on what your personal reaction times look like. Jumping out of the turn up again. Must have been at the edge of the hitbox there. Nobody's turning up to get hit by that today. Backdash shimmy. Not quite catching the throw option that they were probably baiting, but catching definitely something from LagBoy. Ooh, that could be an air throw, a little late there. So missing by quite a large margin. Now KomiYouko was already air dashing out of there, so would have probably needed, required some sort of chasing endeavor. 6P missing, but that time LagBoy was actually slicing the sky, assuming the high Mistfinder instead of the K1. Ooh, and mixes it with the left-right. LagBoy has the burst though, and beats the YRC. Understood exactly what the opponent wanted to do. Missing the reversal input here, unfortunately, so no heart knockdown. Pulls the opponent back into the ground. The 5K from Dizzy ends up missing, and now with the use of the RC, you're gonna get mixed. Good defense though. Eventually, you're gonna have to press. You're gonna have to press, which was what happened here. Can't just keep standing there and take those guard crushes forever. That's a big one. Too heavy. Into the corner you go. 2/3 of LagBoy's life bar has been absorbed. Close slash anti-air though, the old faithful, the classic. From Johnny, who was one of the primary suspects to swing with that in the past batches. Here comes the burst from Komi. Has a lot of resources. Gets misfired out of the ice bike starter though. Is that gonna punish? Yes, indeed. Wait, is that faster than 15 frames? That is 12 frames of startup, so that would punish Mistfinder. DZ has so many different ways of punishing that. That's kind of cool.
Mankind. Duel 1.
So I would say, like, in this matchup, both of these characters can like kind of have very unique kind of options to represent against each other's tools. Busy in the way that she has just so many things that hit and punish the Mistfinder on block depending on distance. The reversal super. Jonas running some pressure here on the follow-up situation, ends up dealing into the distance. Ooh, and got the rounded bluff as well. Komi's a little late to the party to prevent the mid-string deal going off. Wire C to nullify whatever that junk was that the Komi was doing. Reversal super is baited, and we get punished still. Quick 1, 2, 3. OTG is not enough. It's okay. We're still in a position to land another K-Mistfinder before Komi can mount any sort of counter-offensive. Oh, speaking of counter, here's a counter poke with punishing the Mistfinder. Here into the guard crush we go once again. Bolt deal, yep, that's gonna be minus unless you spend the meter. LagBoy gained the 50 meter there at the very tail end of that sequence, so might have not been, or might have banked on being able to build enough in time. Backs off, out of the turn up. Always in your best interests to not engage with the huge ass hitbox that it produces. Here comes the fishy, biting. Big round here. If KomiYouko manages to get this, it's 5 points each. But if LagBoy gets it, it's gonna be your back against the wall. Wait, huh? Wait, huh? Active? Wait, was the backdash must have been active still there, or invulnerable rather, so the Joker trick just completely ends up airballing. That's a rather interesting interaction. Oh, that's gonna whiff! The reversal super, the first one to whiff this set. The ice spike, the fish, and the roasted chestnut, all working in tandem here. Big counter hit, get set up. And ice hibernation activating the wall wings. Not a tool that KomiYouko has been used too much in this set, and unfortunately not gonna play a part in this one either. LagBoy blazing forward with a 6 points now. The most strategical score to have in an FT7. Komi needs 3 in a row. Tried the far slash anti-air, not working out. Not in the modern patches, unfortunately, as well as it did work in the past. 6P once again from Komi's side, takes care of the deal. And then freezing up the neutral. 5P. Ooh, that's kind of nice, comboing into the ice floor. Even if you don't get the biggest combo out there, you can still have a little bit of extra frame advantage from the ice floor explosion to set things up. But speaking of setting things up here, LagBoy running that pressure, putting KomiYouko back in there. Misses the finisher. It's okay. Oh, goes under the 6P. And more. TK, Mistfinder. Did you block it, twin? The hashtag that is always the relevant question. Ooh, slices into the right direction here. Comes from the skies. I think ended up crossing, maybe even uncrossing once, and then crossing again, and unleashes the Mistfinder from the right side. Set point. Checkmate. Place your bets. As LagBoy attempts to gamble it to big fame and fortune. Ooh, again slicing through the ice spike. The second one with a little bit better success here. Ooh, keeping it tight. So even after the Michael Sword, because of the RC used, still had the turn. 6p. Single hit, no cancels. Ain't gonna do much, unfortunately, for Komi. And here comes the mix-up. YRC, yeah, in the modern patches, can definitely YRC out of guard crushes. God bless that feature, but now there is no tools to counterplay this. It's guess for your life kind of a situation. Stands up to block, but then the hit on the follow-up. LagBoy cleaves it to victory. 7-4. Probably one of the worst situations that you ever wanna be in. Guilty Gear Strive. No resources against the guard crush looping character in the corner. You know, sign me up. Sign me up in the Book of the Dead. I'm out of here. I'm deceased. All right, LagBoy taking that. And that is gonna transition us into the last match of the evening, which is gonna be a banger. Butty and RageWolf. The top seed match of the evening between these heavy hitting individuals. Butty piloting the actual super heavy hitting character in Nagoriyuki, and RageWolf bringing home the age-old main from time immemorial, even before the time of bounty hunters. It is, the lore says, the legends tell that RageWolf, why do I keep saying RageWolf? RageWolf. RageWolf used to be, once upon a time, a Kai main. And he's been showing some really sexy Kai gameplay here in a couple of the previous bounty hunters. And I'm still going back to the past, to some of the most iconic bounty hunters games of all time. I forgot who was playing, but we had this one player in Finland. I forgot who it was, but they weren't the Kai player. But they were like, you know what? I think Kai versus Nagoriyuki is actually Kai favorite match. And they were like, I'm gonna learn Kai and I'm gonna sign up on bounty hunters and show how good this character actually is against Nagoriyuki. And against all odds, they actually ended up taking the set. So from that point on, I mean, it's been years since that, and the game has changed so much, but that moment was cemented forever in the back of my mind, where it's like, wait, Kai is kind of cracked against Nagoriyuki? Anyway, not sure what the gist of the matchup is in the modern patches, but we sure as hell are soon gonna find out. RageWolf, probably one of the most fundamentals-oriented Kai players that you've ever seen on bounty hunters. At least you've seen on bounty hunters as of recent. A decent lack of Kai representation overall since since some of the newer patches, right? Then of course we've got Butty, who is running an extremely good record on bounty hunters so far, I believe. I can't remember too many games that Butty has lost. Let's pull out the statistics sheets. And the jury would indeed say that yes, Butty is actually still undefeated on bounty hunters on the Nagoriyuki. I mean, all in all, just completely undefeated. Has played Lucy once as well, but I mean that was probably a side endeavor. But yeah, 3-0 on the Nagoriyuki so far. Who is gonna slay that man? Is it gonna be RageWolf? Or does the reign of tyranny of Butties keep persisting? I mean, to be fair, 2 of those matches have been against Yappie, as the Polish warriors have been, you know, settling some scores. But now it's time to pit them against the rest of the world. Here it comes. Here comes the Samurai Warrior. Enter the ring in our main event of the evening.
They cannot change society. So instead of reflecting,
hold on tight.
They blame the beasts.
And prepare your bodies. Prepare your bodies. I love puns. But we're gonna see some action here. No matter what happens, it's Nagoriyuki. You already know what it's gonna be. Starting with the 2S. Straight into the striking positions, and Nagoriyuki, one of the hardest and nastiest and longest reach and most damaging and sexiest strikers, borrowing the latter conclusion from Ultimate. Right in there with the Clone Fukyo. That's really close to popping. I think RageWolf was almost expecting it to maybe be a pop, because that's like one of the go-to strategies when Nagoriyuki gets so high up in blood that they basically would have to save themselves by either swiping the credit card or getting like a heavy slice or 2 in. Those are the moments where you absolutely want to save your burst for, if you can help it. Ooh, nice! That was a 2K between like DP1 and DP2, was it? I think it looked like. I've been like consistently impressed by like RageWolf's ability to just know some of these matchups really well. Speaking of, how did he manage that? He just like, this is just pure matchup mastery and utilization of the fundamentals. Knowing like when you can do what you can do. And here comes, ooh, that's gonna be baited though. DP starter. Switching sides to go straight. That's kind of cool. So DP launch straight into Fukyo so that you guarantee that you're gonna get the wall, and then regardless of what happens, you could route into a pop if you want, or you could just kill. That is relatively cool. Ooh, no whip punish on the 2 heavy. And just riding on the edge of danger there. 5B ends up whipping. And I think that was not electrified, so minus there on the flip kick otherwise. So plus that they went for the bite a little too early. Yep, always wanna IB the 5 heavies if possible, so that you can interact with them afterwards. One of the like strongest features, like you wouldn't be thinking about this, one of the strongest features of 5 heavy is that it pushes you so far away. So even if Nagoriyuki is minus, it doesn't freaking matter, because you're basically at Saigon after blocking it. But if you manage to get those IBs in, you're much like considerably closer to the opponent, which is absolutely the kind of RPS that you're gonna see RageWolf trying to run here. Even things like IBing between like block strings such as 2S 5 heavy You can even do like micro dash into IB between those. But it's a very high execution kind of gameplay.
Mankind knew that they cannot change. Duel 1. Let's rock.
But I think Guilty Gear Strive is a very high execution kind of game at the highest level as well. IBs, IBFDs, these crazy things that you can do if you have like your 2-frame timings on point. Spending a lot of blood here. Look at this, the moves, oh my god! The threat from RageWolf. And then finally just casually far slashes and finds the hit. Yeah, these fellas are playing a high level fighting game right here, let me tell you that much. Starting with the DP, but once again, checking the Fukyo. Reaction times are there. Ooh, tried to bluff a heavy fireball there. But it was not quite ready to let that shit fly. That's a kill! Wait, they sliced the credit card in between the sequence there. That's actually sick. Forcefully locking into the level 3 there. I think they were in the level 3 already, but like, I mean, might as well. Just in case. Not quite the bust, but best Nagoriyuki players, of course, do their math correctly. The super jump finds its mark. Burst back into the corner. The clone Fukyo takes care of the heavy fireball. We are on credit here. I think it's gonna be a pop. Yes, sir! Can we get there in time? Not quite. The 5 heavy ends up missing. So now Butty sort of walking out of the jail. Ooh, the perfect angle. Did you see that? The walk back. Samurai mix. Swipe it. Into your death. Oh my goodness. After the Yukimo was activated, it was tough. After that, it's like, what do? You have to survive like 3-4 seconds of just special into special pressure while your life is basically at 0. Got them off the wall. Maintain the electricity state here on the hard knockdown. Which is kind of cool, because if you manage to find some sort of harder hit, then you could immediately go into your heavy DP possibly as well. I'm not like super familiar with Kai's combo routing. 6P reactions are on point, as you would expect from RageWolf. Ooh, but I think this could be routed into a pop. It's a whiffing though, and that's gonna be a punish. Unfortunate. You have to make sure if you're like super high on the pop scale, you have to route yourself close enough so that the blood explosion actually cleaves them off the wall. We go taking out the heavy fireball. It's kind of a RPS that can be played once Nagoriyuki hits those high blood thresholds. Yeah, exactly like so. Because at this point, Nagoriyuki can't really use clone anymore, nor Fukyo for that matter. So you would have to like super hard rate super jump at the Kai player in order to call out those heavy fireballs. Here comes the Fukyo, not checked, and frame traps from the 5B. Looking for one more hit. Nice jump out of the throw. Maybe expecting for the burst to come. Smartly, Butty delays it. Has to spend it though at the end. Has to respect RageWolf that much at least. Starting with the the Beyblade. Going into a high blood spending sequence. But the damage is definitely worth it. I mean, I guess that wasn't that much. You spent like around half blood. That's a fair price for half of the opponent's life. Into, once again, frame traps from the 5P. Not super successfully this time around. RageWolf trying to fight away from the corner. Got the IBFDs on the far slash sequence, but still not guaranteed to get out of there. Especially if Nagoriyuki wants to spend meter. Butty, that dangerous Nagoriyuki player. One of the most dangerous on Bounty Hunter's roster as of recent. Although you certainly don't have a deficit on dangerous Nago players at all, the old skill levels for that matter. DP1, no cancel, sending the slide out of the corner. Very fast option that can call out even like stagger pressure versus 2S, I want to say. Yeah, still have the juice for Clone Fukyo, and that's the nail on the coffin here. It's a dangerous proposition to try to take out that heavy fireball for Kai if Clone Fukyo is like widely available in terms of blood. With the electricity in there. Ooh, what a mash! The IB, I think that was a punish, but wasn't quite able to follow it up. IB the 5 heavies as well. Every time you IB a 5 heavy, you're in such a good position to RPS afterwards. Tap the 5D, yes indeed, yes sir. Can't quite get the side swap, but enough juice, enough threat on the combo that Butty had to spend their burst there. Swipe it. Ooh. That's plus on block. Is he gonna? It's gonna clash. And coming out of Klarna with positive blood threshold. But then the immediate swing on the momentum or on the scale. Spent the blood basically in an attempt to end it immediately. High risk, high reward, as they say. Take this heavy fireball and take this whack-ass mix-up. Ooh, gets frame trapped into a DP. Immediate burst back into the corner. Ooh, and I think the direct late ended up hitting airborne there, so RageWolf had the successful frame advantage. Alright, looking for one more hit. Reversal super could be a thing. Goes for the the gold burst instead. The advantage is if I mean, rather the downside is if that is blocked successfully. I mean, technically, if it's blocked, you should be safe. But if it's like gold bustered, then there's nothing. The 50 meter won't matter anymore because you don't get to use it. You're just gonna get punished. Oh, that's gonna be. Oh, never mind. At the meter, of course. The most classic frame or pressure reset of all time from Kai Kisk. Stun Dipper RC. From the beginning of time, Kais had been representing this option and now representing some pressure in the corner. Get that throw, get the conversion, and RageWolf looking like he's slowly coming online after the 3 straight wings from Butty. That's how long it took to warm up. Well, it was an interesting cross-up situation there. Still ended up trading into Kai's button. To represent the 2K there. Unfortunately, the spacing was not quite right. And Butty running the pressure. Ooh, 6B. From a little too far away, could initially convert it, but now RageWolf running the pressure. The stagger, 2K into a throw, and the heavy fireball. Ooh, that's a counter hit. Has to burst here, would have been a dead end otherwise. RageWolf looking for one more. Very high on blood as well, so that means all hits are gonna hit like a truck. Alright, 2-0. The wolf showing its fangs. Let's see what Butty has to say about that one out here. No cancel on the second hit, or to the second hit. RageWolf finding a really nice 2K. Conversion to the corner, jumps out of the throw and jump D's Butty in the face. When I convert this into big damage and a positive bonus as well, it's gonna kick in pretty fast here. Tension penalty should be over for RageWolf pretty fast. Yep, here we go. And on the cusp, on the verge of the 50 tension as well. Leaving on the block situation, the command grab, and now even more. After this hard knockdown, Butty basically has all of the blood resources available. The stagger pressure, the far slash gets punished there. No cancel at the end. But he could choose to burst here. It's still life situation is even. The delayed DP second hit. That's especially cool because Butty has not played that option yet, I believe, in this set. Has set up the expectations that the DP is gonna be uncancelled. And then cashing out on those expectations. Jumping in. Here comes the tension burn. Finds a small hit and electrifies Butty as well at the tail end of the sequence. Once again, you got the strike throw. Figured out, yes indeed. Butty goes for the big committal 5 heavy. RageWolf jumps over, taps him with the 5D. And Butty probably in the business, on the market to save the burst for the last round here. Big round here, in fact. These gentlemen have been fighting tooth and nail for the dominant position here for the last couple of rounds. Reach out the throw, punishes, DP, get me out of here, at least a little bit of real estate. Butty steals it back with the blade. But now, Wolf on the hunt. Level 2 blood, so not the lowest possible defensive modifier for Nago at the moment. But the leg of the king, 5k, one of the best meaty options that you can represent in Guilty Gear Strive. Let me tell you that much. RageWolf evens it up 3 apiece. Early game is over. Warm-up has been done, and now we're heading into the actual interesting rounds of this long-form format of fighting games called FT7. Ooh, went for the throw option to call out the forward Fukyo, but with blood open, we always have counter options. You can never see if the frame dropping into the sacred edge. That's kind of sexy. Like no matter what happens there, I think Kai is plus frames, and since you are hunting for the last pixel, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a ton of sense. Could have been a chip kill as well. I couldn't scrape RageWolf off the wall, unfortunately. IBing and IBFDing in all the right places when there's an opportunity. 6 heavy on the level 2 blood, not hitting quite as hard as to finish the round immediately. But a nice 2P mash here gets the round for Butty. Drifting forward with the Fukyo. The Fukyo is so devious from full screen range. Ooh, nice cancel there. Good option select, good presence of mind from Wolf. No, once again, ooh, the K button stagger string. Swiping the credit card. Has not been burning any blood since then, so we can go out of the credit card here successfully. And the cooldown is over, could potentially use it again at will if Butty so desires. Gotta be careful, especially against fireball characters. You don't want to miss with the credit card willy-nilly, I don't think. Oh, nice punish here, jumping over. Did RageWolf hit the button though? Answer is no. Baits the burst, but he doesn't bite! Oh my goodness, the layers here on the burst read. And Butty assumes the leading position here with a huge hold there on the burst. It requires a little bit of nerves as well if you're like super high blood and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna kill me immediately. But I think Butty still had like around like 20% life or so to spend. So could feasibly still RPS by holding it by just a couple more hits, 1 or 2 more hits, in case the opponent wants to go for an immediate one. It's kind of the nature of the burst RPS. To call out those extremely fast bursts, like it is definitely feasible to burst out like immediately frame 1 when you get hit. And to call those out, you need really fast counter options. Okay. The word on the street is we have sandbagged out. So we will resume from 4-3 position here, Butty being in the lead. One of the most notable challengers here, potentially so far for Butty on Bounty Hunters. Ooh, the Farce, wait a minute. Wait a freaking minute. The Farce slash caught the Beyblade? Yo, the King? King has some buttons? No way. With the IBFD as well, completely pushing Butty away from the meaty close slash. But into the big conversion, misses the ender, or the linker rather. Jump D ends up whiffing. Very dangerous position. Ooh, the 5 heavy gets there before the Sacred Edge. That would have actually been like a pretty okay-ish trade, I guess. Might have actually done more damage on the 5 heavy side from KomiYouko than the full super, but should have been like rather neutral if the player still had the life to survive that. Same RPS here. Yeah, it's around even-ish, but it's a very interesting RPS for sure. Using the Lightning Strike here. Oh, you know what? The Lightning Strike is actually kind of interesting tool, because Clone can delete fireballs, but if you create another fireball on top of the fireball, that could potentially hit KomiYouko still out of the clone. I reckon. I think that's actually looking, at least it's looking like that. Maybe you can correct me if you know better. But that is what my old wary frame goggles are telling me. Oh, I just sensed the Beyblade. Backwards Fukyo Beyblade, the classic. Even if it's not the hard. Oh wait, did it not go back into? Oh, I guess it didn't save. Okay. Did save now though. So Butty once again with a little bit of momentum here. 2 games up on RageWolf. Next one is going to be super important. This next match is what could decide the fate of these warriors. Because when you are at a very even skill level, it can be difficult to pull out like multiple. Oh no! Wait! Well, I wonder what RPS option RageWolf tried to represent there after the IB. Probably a strike, maybe a 2P. But it is -3, so if you go for a 5 framer, you would Yeah, you would get beaten. You would still get strategically beaten by Nagoriyuki's throw. Dash out of the 2S frame trap. And here comes Butty. So many, whoa. First an IBFD and then an IB to keep them close afterwards. I can't believe the technical prowess of RageWolf. Absolutely brilliant to watch. But like it's even though you can do it occasionally, landing those 2-frame timings that IBs require is such a difficult ordeal. Still, like even no matter how good you are, even like a top-end player is not gonna hit it more than like certain fraction of the time, right? And then there's of course the rest of the matchup that you have to play. That's not the only factor that is gonna decide the set. Ooh, sends a stun dipper. Daring. We definitely could because we had the meter there to follow it up in case shit hit the fan. Ooh, that was an interesting, maybe a miss input. I thought I saw 5D coming out of RageWolf. Maybe a miss on the throw. Once again, the dash forward, or rather the jump forward. Able to get a punish on the Klarna or the 5 heavy. RageWolf definitely locked in on the storyline. Staying tight and surviving the whole ass block sequence of Butties. Tried to Fukio forward without the clone, so got clipped in the fireballs there. Plus frames from the clone. And ending the sequence successfully, drawing a little bit of blood at -2, which is technically even. The throw a little bit too early. Could sense that the throw was coming, or rather the dash forward was coming. No way, the clone Fukio beats the slide. Straight into the heavy fireball. Interesting blood situation. We definitely have some blood open, but not too many special moves to go. Is that gonna be bust? Not quite. The jumpy, ooh, into a successful sequence, drops the ender there. Tries to throw, that's a miss. The delayed slide as a frame trap. Butty has to reach for the throw, that's the last moment. No more baiting. And then the slice from a perfect spacing. Beautiful ABC textbook Bible told you so kind of fighting game gameplay there to end the round. It's gonna be punished though. Sending the stun dipper before we had the resources. Always a risk that you can take. Don't have to take, but you certainly can, depending on how daring you feel that day. But if the 6P, not getting punished by too much. I think that's kind of lucky, because usually you get punished pretty badly after Nagoriyuki getting a successful 6P. Fading it. Oh, there we go, the bob and weave. That's why you use the movement, the micro dash into, mind you, FD break. The little nuance that it makes. The FD break removes your momentum immediately if you want to play these like pixel perfect footsies. But now this would be the first set point position for a Butty, I believe, in this set. So Wolf, certainly hungry and back against the wall. Trying to find a way out. Finds a IB throw, a back throw at that. Eat this projectile into. Ooh, breaking the wall immediately. I think that was a trade actually, but since the wall broke, safe jab? No, I think the 5K can be played as a safe jab. It can bait 9-framers, but alas, requires precise timing. Still anybody's game. Is Butty gonna steal it right here? 2K ends up whiffing, doesn't check them Fukios! OTG is not available. 2S catching with the chip damage. Nagoriyuki, one of those characters whose normals deal still decently enormous chip damage. I think is it only in level 3? I forgot. Nevertheless, Butty victorious once again, but this time getting surely a run for his money. Making it look not as dominant necessarily, not, well, wasn't the easiest run, but pretty convincing Nagoriyuki play nonetheless. Absolute pleasure to watch, especially like I think RageWolf is like one of my favorite Kai players at the moment. One of the, like, overall, if we disregard the whole character conversation, like every character in the game, like all standard characters that can dash forward can kind of do the same thing that RageWolf has been doing. And I mean, he's been doing it on multiple different characters. You can play this like absolute base kit of like good assortment of fundamentals, the dash blocks, the IBs, the everything that just about any character can bring to the table. And RageWolf has been doing it much, like almost like slightly better than the competition as of recent. And that's really impressive. That is absolutely crazy impressive. And one of the reasons why I absolutely want to watch more of RageWolf in the future as well. Okay, but all that commentator glazing aside, glazing of these amazing players, that would be it for the evening. Another week, another great set of games. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed casting it. If you want to join the fun next week, Discord is one of those options. You can join for the Google Forms that are going to be online a couple of minutes after we go offline here. Let us check if there are good rate targets before we end the show. I do see me some familiar faces, such as Vlink running that Daredevils League. Yeah, that's a cool format. Let's go watch that. So say hi to Link, and I think they're pretty deep into their format as well. Yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Sunday. Same time, same channel. More FT7 goodness. For now, signing out. See you next week. Bye-bye.